Welcome, sports fans, DocSports.com on this Ryder Cup weekend. I'm your host, Mike Davis. Stick around. I have a free selection coming up for you in just a moment. It is the weekend of the Ryder Cup. It's a great time of year. I tell you what, go USA. But I tell you, I'm torn. I really like both sides. Obviously, we're going for the USA. We're pulling for the USA, and I really do believe the United States of America is going to pull it off this weekend. Watch that duo of Patrick Reed and Jordan Spieth, and that DJ, he is really tough, and Kuchar, he's sneaky. So I like the way our team is made up. I look for the Ryder Cup to be fairly close, but I do look for the United States to pull it off this weekend. But I do like both teams. I like the humbleness, and I like the way Darren Clark has handled this situation. So with that being said, go United States this weekend. We came up with a huge 8-unit Major League Baseball game of the year on Wednesday as the Mets beat Miami 5-2. That brings us to a current year total of 9-2 with our big 8-unit selections across all sports for a profit of $5,520 in the calendar year 2016. Come back with a 2-unit Major League Baseball selection on this Friday night. Make sure you grab it right here at DocSports.com. Come back this weekend with 3 football plays, scaling it back just a little bit, coming off a disappointing week last week. I've touched on that. It wasn't our best, but we're coming back with 3 plays this weekend, a 7-unit selection, a 6-unit selection, and a 4-unit selection this weekend in football. Make sure you grab those 3 plays right here at DocSports.com. Still 7-4 on the NFL season. 7-4 on the NFL season. I have 2 NFL plays for you this weekend. Your free selection also comes to you from the National Football League. Let's see. Let me grab an updated line on this. Tennessee, number 263. Tennessee plus 4.5 at Houston. I like Tennessee plus the 4.5. Tell you what, Houston opened as a 6.5-point favorite in this one. I think it's important to keep in mind when handicapping the NFL, it's tough to look back week to week to week because each week is a separate entity. It's tough. I mean, these teams, for the most part, the talent is very, very close. So what I like to do is I like to look for certain keys. The key that I see in this matchup is it looks like Tennessee is trending upward. Again, I don't like to take individual games and use them to handicap the next week. But if you look back on this season, if you want to go that route, they didn't allow an offensive touchdown to Minnesota. They lost the game because they turned the ball over. They came back in Detroit versus a sloppy Lions team to win that game. And then last week, Mariota was leading them back before an offensive lineman just made a silly penalty versus Oakland. So I like the way this Tennessee team, I like the way Mariota is maturing. I like the running game. If you can run the ball, play defense, and get decent quarterback play, you can win in this league. I'm not a big Brock fan, not at all. I don't think he's a dynamic quarterback in the National Football League. And I think more often than not, he's going to cost you games more than win you games. And, of course, they lost J.J. Watt down in Houston this week as well. That will certainly affect the morale of that football team. I like Tennessee getting the 4.5 points on the road at Houston as your free selection. 3 big football plays coming up this weekend. 2-unit Major League Baseball selection on this Friday night. And it's the Ryder Cup weekend, baby. Go USA. Everybody have a great and profitable weekend.